Today, I want to talk about the hellscape that is technical diagramming, right? Everybody's nodding their heads right now, And there is a potential solution that I want to share. There was one name that several people brought up. I did some digging, and it's kind of nuts how much this program Miro has for developers. I have to share this. It could potentially be a game changer for you. So my favorite part about Miro is that half the work is already done. Like right now, typically we spend hours starting diagrams from scratch, right? Gathering information, you get buy-in from every team. Following up, that's a lot of work to do. But Miro has a full set of integrations with the tools you're probably already using. And they also offer open APIs and SDKs for custom solutions for all those niche diagramming use cases we have to do, right? So the end result is the same, but it doesn't take forever. It's a massive, massive time saver. I'm transforming basic flowcharts and network architectures, and it all lives in one place. So are you using Miro? Have you used it? I want to hear.
Introducing the second best buffalo thing, Cheetos Crunchy Buffalo. Nothing beats buffalo wings on game day, but with a tangy and cheesy buffalo flavor, Cheetos Crunchy Buffalo is proud to be the second best buffalo thing. Grab Cheetos Crunchy Buffalo today.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You can turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Interstate Batteries offers a wide variety of batteries for your everyday needs. Stop into one of their thousands of retail locations and talk with a battery specialist about batteries for your truck, trail cameras, and even those weird batteries for your rangefinder. Interstate Batteries even offers cell phone repair in certain locations. For more information, visit interstatebatteries.com. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
Everyone, my name is Jacob. This is Hunt Detail. Thank you for joining me. I just completed my evaluation of 14 different saddles from 14 different saddle companies, and you can find the full video on Hunt Detail YouTube. But this is the podcast, and really want to talk about the saddle market as a whole, and I'll share some of the details, but I think the video is about 30 minutes in length. You'll be able to look at that. I also have a spreadsheet that accompanies the video. You can go to my Hunt Detail Instagram page or site and hit on the link tree there, and you'll be able to download that for free and look at the saddles that I reviewed individually. And again, this isn't the way I looked at them was the way everyone else looks at them when you're shopping. It's looking at them from a website. You're not going to be able to go to a retailer and look at 14 different saddles and sort of make comparisons, and it would probably take you hours and hours to do. And honestly, it's hard to know what you want or don't want, quite honestly, because it's really information overload. As I look at one saddle, I'm like, well, that looks good enough, I guess. I don't know. I've been hunting out of a saddle for 5 years now, and I love it, but I don't know, certain things that that companies offer with their own saddles. So I've tried to do some of the homework for you and give you a starting point to sort of evaluate the saddles on your own. Now, what's interesting is that I found that a lot of them, there's a few that are on Amazon. And if you buy them on Amazon, you obviously have a 30-day return policy. They might come in a couple days, and that's really incredibly convenient because you don't have to argue with somebody on the other line. You don't have to explain things. You just type, hit a couple clicks and you can return it. And so, some of those, and I'll go through the whole list right now. I looked at the XOP Mondo, which is a sort of a hybrid of a saddle and a tree stand harness, which is really interesting and intriguing. It comes in at $150. And so in my evaluation, I looked at the least expensive and worked my way up to the most expensive, and with the idea that as you move up in price, you start to see more of the features and why you're spending more. With the XOP, you get 3 ropes. You get that can serve as the bridge, the tether, and the lineman's rope, and it's again $150. Decent deal in my opinion if you're maybe a traditional tree stand hunter and you're looking to increase your mobility and you maybe want to do the saddle thing. And then the Hawk Helium, the H2 Hotshot, the Buzzard Roost saddle. It's a 2-panel saddle. I was really impressed with that. Custom Gear Modifications, Cobra, which is a single panel. The Legend Saddle Company, which has a Tomahawk X. Hunt Arsenal, which is the Cloud. It is a 1-panel saddle that looks a lot like a 2-panel saddle, the way they designed it. It's made out of ripstop fabric, not sort of the Cordura look and feel, so it looks a lot different than the other saddles. The Cruiser Archon, which is a 2-panel, which I was really impressed with that, especially at the $435 price point with when you add in the tether and lineman's rope. That's a really strong value. The Trophy Line Venatic, Overwatch Outdoors Transformer, Latitude Method 2, which is a 2-panel. The TX5 Custom Gear Lone Star 2.0. Timber Ninja Black Belt Ultimate 2-panel. And then the Tethered Lockdown, which is a single panel saddle. And those were the 14 saddles that I looked at, and I think those that rose to the top really for me were, I'm going to pick on a couple saddles here. One, the Timber Ninja, it comes in with when you buy the saddle for $410, and then you buy your tether and lineman's belt, and that's another $150. So now you're up to $560. And everywhere you see that Timber Ninja Black Belt Ultimate saddle, you see the pouches attached to them. But oh, by the way, the pouches are not included. Each one of those is like 48 additional bucks. So if you're going to get 2 pouches, it's going to cost you an additional $100. So now you're up to $660 for the Timber Ninja. And I'm like, holy smokes. I mean, it is a 2-panel saddle. It has a narrow, the bottom panel is very narrow. It has these chintzy cheap G hooks that for your leg straps, which I hate because they're always coming out. It has a 14-day return policy. As far as I know, there's no retailers that carry it. And so you're really putting out a lot of money for something that I just don't see a lot of value in. It has some magnetic features like for your platform, sort of a loop that goes around it, and it's magnetic. And then there's these magnetic straps that go around your sticks and attach to your saddle. But ultimately, it just doesn't. It really lacks value. I mean, you could do, if you're looking for a 2-panel saddle, in my opinion, you could do much better with the Latitude Method 2, the Cruiser Archon, which has a giant seat bucket. And so if you're more of a sitter, it's definitely something you would look at. And the Latitude comes in at $455. The Cruiser comes in at $435. And it's a real 2-panel. It has Raptor buckles for your legs and for your belt. And it's definitely something I would take a hard look at. And then the Buzzard Roost saddle. This is a true 2-panel. It comes in at $380 with the ropes. Like, that is, I think, incredible. And what's interesting about the Buzzard Roost saddle is the bridge loop that it has for each panel. So it has a bridge loop for the top panel and a bridge loop for the bottom panel, and sort of adjustability on each of those bridge loops. Now, I don't know if that's like too much adjustability, if it's too much of a good thing, but it's definitely well thought out and well designed. And if I were looking at a 2-panel, I would definitely not look at the Timber Ninja. I would look at the Buzzard Roost, the Cruiser from the Cruiser Archon, and then the Latitude Method 2. But so those 2 panels really rose to the top over something like the Timber Ninja. From a 1-panel saddle, I really was not a fan of the Hunt Arsenal Cloud. It's made of this ripstop material that, in my opinion, is loud. the bridge is a strap. It's not a rope. And so I wonder how easily that sort of slides through your carabiner on your tether. And then the pouches on the legs, although they look cool, I just wonder how, with my pouches on my saddle, they hang freely. They're not putting they're not putting pressure on my hips and thighs. And I just wonder if those pouches built into the Hunt Arsenal Cloud are not sort of, can create some pressure that I don't like. So for me, I really didn't want to like the tethered lockdown because it is so pricey, but I really did like the tethered lockdown. I think it is really well thought out, well designed. As a single panel, it has a sort of a strap at the bottom of the panel that allows you to sort of move it up and move it down. Another single panel that I liked was, and there weren't many, honestly. I think the Tomahawk X from Legend, I think, was interesting. I didn't say absolutely yes I would buy it because they don't have a return policy listed and they don't have retailers apparently. The TX5 Custom Gear single panel, unfortunately that comes in at $460 with ropes. It's pretty expensive, but it seems to be pretty well designed in terms of a hip pinch reduction system. It has a sort of belt looping that goes above the traditional belt of the saddle, so you can sort of have two belts to sort of keep that saddle up. It also has space for a yoke system or suspenders, and so I was really impressed by the thought that went into that. The TX5 Custom Gear, again, it's a single panel, but it seems to be well thought out. It comes out of Texas. They have a 15-day return policy. And, one of the single panels that I was not impressed with was the Trophyline Venatic. I think one of the things that you see with these different saddles out there and the saddle companies is they're trying to create more adjustability within the bridge and the bridge loop, and the Venatic doesn't do any of that. Like there's a bridge attached to, there's a rope attached to the bridge, and then there's a carabiner, and maybe I'm the dumb one, maybe that's really comfortable, or maybe the idea is that you replace it and upgrade to a different bridge system. But I for someone that maybe is interested in entering hunting, saddle hunting, it just doesn't, at $440 doesn't look like a great value. And then another single panel that I just was sort of disappointed with was, I'm on some level the H2 Hot Shot. Now, I should temper that, actually. It comes in at $323. It's really well priced. I think it's just sort of, it's so simplistic, I guess. Some of these other saddles are so feature rich that I didn't really see that with the H2. But again, maybe that's not the point. The point is it's a beginner saddle. It does have a really nice triad adjustable bridge that comes with it. Unfortunately, it comes with the metal G hooks for the leg straps, which I can't stand. But so, if you were new to saddle hunting, that would be a good place to start. But ultimately, it's an interesting space. It's always changing. There's a lot of new saddle companies entering. I'm sure there's probably 14 others that I didn't even think or look at or try. I did look at like the Dryad saddle, and it just didn't seem like it really was worth consideration. There's a couple other saddles that I sort of looked at, and I just was like, you know what, I'm not going to invest the time to sort of break them down because I just don't think that they are bringing, any particular value. They're just sort of a saddle company. So if you have recommendations of other saddles that I should sort of add to this or look at the spreadsheet, I would encourage you to go to the Hunt Detail Instagram, like and follow Hunt Detail Instagram. That would be helpful, but you can also download this spreadsheet. So, best of luck to you all the rest of the year as we transition from hunting to scouting and gear. And I hope that you found this helpful. Ultimately, my winners, I would say, were the Buzzard Roost, the Cruiser Archon, the Latitude Method 2, the TX5 Custom Gear, and the Tethered Lockdown. My losers were, and some of these just don't represent upgrades for me. So, like the XOP Mondo is, I think, a great deal for a beginner, but it's not an upgrade to me. So, I'll give you like sort of the real losers. I think the custom gear modification saddle, no return policy listed. Metal G hooks, didn't love it. I think I mentioned the Hunt Arsenal, the Overwatch Outdoors Transformer. It just looked more like a bunch of seat belts for me than an actual saddle. I could be wrong, of course, but those are some of the losers, and I mentioned Timber Ninja. So thank you all again. Best of luck, and look forward to connecting with you again soon. All the best.
Jake Knapp is the inventor of the Design Sprint and the New York Times bestselling author of the book Sprint. He's also the co-founder of Character, a venture fund for early-stage startups. How and why did you start using Miro?
I came from this position of thinking, I don't want to be doing stuff online, to thinking now when I do a sprint in person with a company, it's like, we're going to use Miro, even though we're all in the same room, because that's a better way for us to get this work done. As an investor, we're basically investing in their ability to solve problems. We're saying, we think this group of people is going to be able to solve a problem in a really great way and create value by doing it. And actually, you need to give people the tools that can help them make decisions, help them collaborate, help them visualize and see things in a different way. And Miro does all those things. So to me, at least as an investor, I'm thinking, give the team the tools that are going to help them think, that are going to make the most, brighten their skills as smart folks. And Miro is at the top of that list for me.